What's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in again to the Growth Network, where we are grassrooting our wealth, tradition, and heritage. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Today, I want to bring a story out of California. It's about a young sister who said she was forced to move out of her seat for two white women on her flight back home. This is coming off of abc30.com. I'm going to leave the link in the description box below, as always. I chose this website because they actually have the interview that the young sister did, so you can actually watch the interview and read the article too. And the article reads, a Black California woman forced to move for white Delta passenger says, quote, made me feel powerless. Amazing. Camille Henderson says she was asked to move to the back of the plane mid-flight to make room for two passengers who claimed to have first-class tickets, but couldn't produce them to the flight attendants. Henderson traveled to Atlanta with her boyfriend to visit her family in late January. Her mother had only met her boyfriend in passing, so this was a big meet and greet. And if you look at the video, you'll see that she's, dating a white guy, which, hey, you date who you want to date, that's fine. But I think it kind of plays, to me, I feel like it kind of plays into some of the comments she's going to make in her interview, which I'm a person, I strongly believe that relationships can cause people to change their mindset or their demeanor on things, or the way they respond to certain things, even if they feel a different way. But okay, so say Atlanta is a major Delta hub. Henderson says she flew exclusively with the airline, but that all changed with this most recent trip. I just want them to acknowledge that they made me feel powerless, and they can't do that to customers moving forward, she said in an interview with ABC 7 News. On Henderson's return flight on February 3rd, she said she experienced what amounted to a game of mid-flight musical chairs. She was ticketed a window seat in row 15, but by the end of the flight, she would be sitting in row 34. Henderson said the two women seated in the row next to her in the aisle and the middle seats, who appeared to be flying together, complained to flight attendants about their seat assignment. They felt like they were ticketed first class seats, but they couldn't provide the tickets, said Henderson. She said the complaints went on for more than an hour into the flight, at which point Henderson started recording part of the exchange. See, Henderson supplied an audio recording to our sister station KGO-TV in San Francisco of what she says in a conversation between a flight attendant and the two women seated next to her. One person can be heard saying, quote, unfortunately, my first class seats are occupied. Another responds, they are what? They're occupied, the first person said. Henderson said eventually the Delta flight attendants came back with a solution to get the women more space, but Henderson would have to be the one to move. The audio recording Henderson shared with ABC 7 News, you can hear someone asking her, are you flying by yourself? Like, how does that matter? I mean, it's three people in a row, and she's not sitting with anyone. The two women are sitting together, and it's her. There are three people sitting together, and you're gonna ask this woman, is she sitting alone? Like really? Or she's, anyway. Henderson can be heard responding that she is, followed by the person saying, there's a seat back there in aisle 34. It's an aisle seat. The recording then stops. I wonder why she stopped the recording. That's kind of, it kind of makes me wonder, like, did she get scared? Did the phone die? I don't know. Henderson said at no point did the flight attendant suggest the women sitting next to her who were displeased with their seat assignments should move. She was imagine being at a window seat, not in the aisle, but you're in a window seat, and somebody's asking you to move from your window seat so somebody can be more comfortable. Man, I don't want to make this. Now here's the question. Now here's the statement that makes me wonder. Like I said, it makes me say what I said about, her dating a white guy, and how sometimes relationships can, make you, like, say or do things that you may not really believe in, but you're trying to please or sound a certain way to impress whoever you're with. So she says, and I quote, "I don't want to make it a race thing. But instead of asking the two white women that were seated next to me to move in an attempt to accommodate them, they basically made me have to move. I just don't know why I had to move, because that was a seat I paid for. That was my assigned seat," Henderson said. Here is the problem with that whole paragraph, that whole statement. One, I don't want to make it a race thing. I'm sorry, Sister Henderson, but it is. You have to. Even if it's not, it is. Because you're in a country that makes where everything is based on race. That's just real life. People can get mad. People can start explaining. People can get bent out of shape if you say something about racism. You bring up anything that it seems that when black folks do something, people get treated a certain way, or people act a certain way, compared to if white people do something, it seems like it's totally different. Like, you could talk about what was the story last week about last couple of weeks? It was like two kids in the mall fighting, and it was a white looking kid and a young brother, and they're fighting, and basically the white looking kid is actually winning the fight, on top of the brother, and they pull the white kid off and arrest the black kid. And it's like, so we see, that's where racism is rearing its ugly head, but people want to say, oh, we're going to, we're going to do an investigation first, and then maybe we can do some sensitivity training, and then you wonder why people say defund the police, which I say the hell with defund the police. I think you just need to just revamp the whole system. Just take everything out and start over from scratch. That's what you do when there's something that's so corrupt. When something is corrupt to the core, you can't just put a Band-Aid on top of it, or just put some alcohol on it, or some peroxide, or some acrylcone, or whatever the hell, and think that it's going to stop the infection. No, you got to get it all the way down and take all of it out, and then allow it to heal. So, but again, like I say, you have to make it a race thing, unfortunately, because you're in a country where everything is pretty much based on race. And anybody who wants to dispute that, have at it, because I can come up with 11 different examples of how it is. The next thing she said is, in an attempt to accommodate them, they basically made me have to move. Sister Henderson, no, they didn't. Sister Henderson, you did not have to move if you didn't want to. You could have pulled a Rosa Parks on their ass and sat in your seat and said, no, I don't want to move. I like my seat. I'm done. And turned your head back out the window and looked at the bird, looked at the clouds. That's all you had to do. White women can get upset. They can fuss. That's between them and the airlines, not between them, the airlines, and you. Now, if you want to be nice and you wanted to accommodate them and do the right thing. I don't know what your religion is, but do the Christian thing, turn the other cheek, or whatever the case you want to call it. And you want to be nice to these women and say, what, I'll go ahead and move to the back. Then that's fine. But then why, matter of fact, if it's not a race, let's go back to the race thing. If it's not a race thing, then why in the heck did you bring that up? Why is this even a story? It shouldn't even, like I say, it shouldn't even been an issue. I mean, who, and I'm gonna say who, because the way it sounds like you were cool with it. You could have gone to the back of the bus without no problem. I guess you just felt comfortable, like something in your psyche made you feel like that's where you belong. I don't know, but all I can say is they didn't have to make you move. You chose to move. And that's just bottom line. I just don't know why I had to move. You didn't have to. I just don't know why I had to move, because it was a seat I paid for. That's why you didn't have to move, because it was a seat you paid for. Unless they offered you vouchers. Because here's the thing with airlines. Let's say you book a flight and they overbook. It's like these ladies here, quote unquote, if they had first class tickets and they were overbooked, somebody would have offered them for future flights some kind of like a free flight. They would have offered them some money, or whatever the case may be. They would have offered something to make up for the mistake. Same thing they should have offered you if they had you move a whole half a plane to the back. Because I'm quite sure the tickets on that back half of that plane were probably cheaper than in the middle. This ain't no Spirit Airlines. This ain't no JetBlue, where all the tickets are, all tickets are the same price, unless you pay like a little bump up charge or whatever, just so you can get on first. But this ain't that. This is Delta. They say first class, middle class, commercial, whatever you want to call it, coach, whatever it's called, business. They have that. So, like I said, in this paragraph, I put this on you, because you can't control what other people think. You can't control other people's racism. You can't control how they look at you, but you can control what you do. There's no way in hell you should have moved off that, from that seat. But let me keep going. She said she was embarrassed by the experience and did not refuse the flight attendant's orders out of fear of being labeled disruptive and potentially being reprimanded. Why? So you gonna tell me that two white women can sit here and bitch and complain about a seat for over an hour, but you just saying no, I am not gonna move, and you're gonna be disruptive? Man, I just want to know who in the hell raised you as the TD, what's his name, whatever his name was, the comedian, we say TD Kirkland, whatever, JT Kirkland. It's like TD Kirkland, like TD Jakes. Oh man, TK Kirkland. My gosh, thinking like, anyway, forgive me, brother. But yeah, like, who raised you, man? That's embarrassing. You should be embarrassed as even saying this. The Federal Aviation Administration website states the FAA is strictly enforcing a zero tolerance policy towards passengers who cause disturbances on flights or fail to obey flight crew instructions in violation of the FAA's regulations or engage in conduct prescribed by federal law. Woman, there's no way that you will be deemed a disturbance. I've seen people on these videos get up and fight on these flights, curse people out, spit, run up and down the aisles, try to open up doors, and you think they're gonna get on you because you don't want to move seats. I wish they would. Continue. As I'm walking back there, it's just humiliating. Really, got your head down. They tar and feathering you. Is that what they're doing? It's like having the entire flight look at you and asking what's going on. Look at her. After getting back to the Bay Area, Henderson spent the next several days trying to contact Delta Airlines to file a complaint about her experience. When she finally got a customer service representative, it's it's going through, people ain't got, people ain't like going through this COVID thing. People ain't working no more, so people are like short-staffed. I mean, you know that, man. Come on, let's be real. Come on, now, you understand that. She said, she finally got a customer service representative on the phone. She said she was unsatisfied with the interaction. Henderson supplied an audio recording to ABC 7 News of what she said is a conversation between her and the Delta Airlines customer service support agent. Quote, how were you humiliated for them to ask you to go to another seat? The person can be heard asking in the recording. See, you think it's that one way, but it's the other way. They don't care about you, man. The person Henderson said was a Delta Airlines customer service representative said since she was moved from a main economy seat to another main economy seat, there was no inconvenience. Yes, it was. Because you're basically saying there's nothing that you can do. Henderson responded, no, not under these circumstances that I'm showing, ma'am. The person responded. Not satisfied with the response, Henderson reached out to ABC 7 News. After KGO-TV stepped in, a Delta Airlines spokesperson provided the following statement. We are looking into the situation to better understand what happened. Delta has no tolerance for discrimination in any form, and these allegations run counter to our deeply held values of respecting and honoring the diversity of our customers. You see how they worded this? Nowhere did they say that Delta did anything wrong. What they're saying is, they use the word allegations, which means that they don't necessarily believe that anything happened, but what you feel happened, it goes against our policy. But compared to what actually happened, we are not in the wrong. So they're claiming no fault. And here we go. Me, as a black woman, I was displaced to make 2 white women comfortable. That doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, it did, because you got to move. You got to move. I mean, because you know, the thing about it, hold on. When asked if she would fly Delta again, Henderson responded, never again. Okay. The thing about this story, is when this incident happened, that's when everything has to kick into high gear. As they say, your spidey senses need to kick in, and you need to start figuring out your plan and how it's going to affect you in the future. For those of you who are fellow Avenger fans, Marvel movie, comic fans, and you saw the Avengers, the Endgame, the last two with the Avengers. And when Doctor Strange sat over there in that corner and his head was going back and forth, in a way, and in a matter of seconds, he saw like over 4 million different scenarios and outcomes. That's what in real life you have to do in situations like this. You have to understand that after reading this, and they say hindsight's 20/20, but after reading this, you have to understand that whether you moved out that seat or you didn't move out that seat, there's a strong possibility that you will not fly Delta Airlines again. Because one, for them to even ask you to move is disrespectful. Again, they put you in a situation that had nothing to do with you at all. It was between them and the 2 white women. If the white woman was not satisfied, they can go file a complaint. Let them file a complaint. Let them move their asses over somewhere and sit somewhere else. Because basically what they're going to do is have you move so you can sit next in the aisle, sit next to someone else. Like you the one who's up there acting a fool, fussing, arguing, cussing, fighting, or whatever. You're just sitting there trying to go back home to your boyfriend. Nobody knows what these white women were, what they was on before, during, or after the flight. This here is a case where everybody involved was wrong. But like I said earlier, you can't control what other people say. You just can't control other people, period. You can't control their actions. Definitely can't control their thoughts. But what you can control is what you do. And what you should have done in this story, in this situation, well, like I said, Rosa parked their ass, sat in that seat, and not move. Let the story be that they tried. I mean, it's perfect timing. You might as well. I mean, hell, it was Black History. I mean, you might as well be like, hey, you might as well say, hey, these white women, they trying to make me move. White women being racist, and I demand justice. And it's as simple as that. There's nothing else that you could. Nothing else you could have said. None of that had to been said or done to beyond that. But hopefully, this is a lesson for her and anyone else who watched this video or who's heard this story. Racism and white supremacy, like I say, reigns in this world, especially in this country. I don't know what goes on in other countries because I haven't been there yet. But from what I see here, it's just another example. It's another one of the examples of you can't isolate incidents. You have to put everything together and say, hey, this is why we feel this way. Unless there's a change. Now, if it was 3 white women, then no, we wouldn't say it's racism. We would just say, hey, you just got to be, just be nice to other white, one white woman being nice for other, being accommodating to other white women. But you can't do it. But when you can't do it, if it's 2 white women and a Black woman, because now, like I said, due to the country that we're living in, race is involved. Race is definitely involved. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story, man. Leave your comments below. As always, like I say, like, share, subscribe, comment. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Hey, if you want to support the channel, you can always, donate. Or you can click on a link on the website below and you can buy some merchandise. And that way it could be like a, exchange for like tangible goods. So some people like, a lot of people like, give you some merchandise, give you something tangible for, like I said, these videos, this advice, or whatever. If you want to start your own YouTube channel, click that tube button link down below. Sign up. It's a great way, like I said, to start to YouTube channel. Give you the keywords, hot topics, things to talk about to help you get those views in, get those viewers in. So get those subscriptions up, you know what I'm saying? But with that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.